tonight we got a great program in store for you. Let me just go over the format a little bit for everybody so that they understand what we're trying to do here. Tonight's a Q&A session with two great speakers, and what's going to happen is the speakers will be given 2 minutes to answer a question or talk about a word. The speakers can pass on a question or a word if they don't know or if they're not comfortable with answering it. And on the tables, we have cards and slips for you to fill out questions that you may think of during the process. And we have a box over there that Mita is holding up, so if you have a question, write it down, put your name on it, drop it in the box, give it to Mita, and we'll be able to bring you up and you can ask your question to our speakers this evening. So we'd like you to be as interactive and involved with this process as possible this evening. And let me introduce our first speaker, one of our speakers for this evening. We're honored to have two inspirational speakers, and one of our speakers this evening is the CEO and President of Coppa Consulting, Inc. His wealth and knowledge spans across several industries, including construction, real estate, land use development, labor management, business services, and professional business solutions. He has been building a network of business, social, and personal relationships in Hawaii for over 35 years. He serves as an executive advisor for FAMES and is one of the mentors for FAMES mentorship program. He also serves on the board of several well-known community service organizations in Hawaii, such as YMCA, March of Dimes Foundation, Hawaii Chamber of Commerce, Humane Society, among others. So without further ado, please help me welcome one of our speakers for this evening, Mr. Bruce Coppa.
Aloha, everyone. Thanks. Well, first of all, let me thank Joni for her enthusiasm and her energy. Isn't this woman? I've known Joni over 10 years plus, 20. And this lady, every time I see her, her energy level is incredible. And you know, that's what inspires me, and it should inspire you. Just take on every day, as she says, waking up and taking on the day. And then more importantly, to Brandon and to Brody for president, these two guys are terrific. They smile. Brandon's smiling. Look at that smile, right? Terrific, terrific. Anyway, thank you again for having me come tonight. Let me just tell you a little about what I'm currently doing. Coppa Consulting is really a consultant for businesses. And really what I've done is I'm capitalizing on my network and what FAMES is all about, the network. I'm capitalizing on that, using that to help businesses meet businesses. And it's something that I never thought I'd do on my own. I've worked for someone for over 30 plus years. And I finally said, I'm going to capitalize on what I know best. And my best is relationships. And an organization like FAMES is really what really makes businesses to business work. So that's what I'm doing today. I also do a lot of real estate and development. I'm currently doing a development out of Coppa, the new Foodland project with 4 other partners. And that's actually broke ground in September. And that'll take about 1.5 years, and then we'll get our strip mall going with that. So real estate, construction, and development is what I do. But more importantly, the business consulting and connecting people with other businesses and really doing the back of the house business solutions. So that's what I'm about. Nice smile.
Our co-speaker for this evening was born and raised in Kailua and is the owner and president of Big City Diner Restaurants. He attended Denver University, where he obtained his Bachelor's of Business Administration in Hotel and Restaurant Management in 1984. After gaining experience within the restaurant industry, he was ready to make the leap of creating something uniquely his own. In 1998, he opened the doors of the first Big City Diner location in historic Kankakee on Wailea Avenue with just about 40 employees. Today, Big City Diner remains an island family tradition with 5 locations, including the original Kaimuki location, Kailua Ward Entertainment Center, Waipio, and Pearl Ridge with under 400 employees. So please help me give a big round of applause to Mr. Lee Muraoka.
Thank you. Thanks, buddy. Hi, good evening. Thank you, Brandon and Brody, for inviting me, and Joni. Nice to meet you this evening. I'm here to listen to Bruce tonight, so we'll get started. I've been in the restaurant business about 30 years now, a long time. And first venture was that I actually had a piece of, and we started out, was Wally Wok. It was a Chinese home delivery business in the late 80s. I don't know if you remember that place. It's kind of before its time, maybe, because there's only Chinese. It was only pizza was a big thing as far as delivery. And so we opened this business in the late 80s. I was 24 years old or so. So that's my first taste of entrepreneurship. My family and Wally's family got together. We opened this thing, and it was Chinese food cooked to order. It was brown rice, no oil, no MSG kind of thing, real progressive, and worked hard at it for 3-4 years. It wasn't my cup of tea, so I got out of that, and I got into working with my mother's cousin, Bob Lee, out in Haleiwa. And I worked for Restaurants Unlimited out there, and basically we had steamers, Pizza Bob's, Rosie's Cantina, which closed recently, I think. Pizza Bob's is at Restaurant Row. Pizza Bob's is still out there, 35 years or so. And I did that through the 90s, all the way up to about 97. And then I got the bug, and I said, I got to do something. I go, Bob, do you want to expand Pizza Bob's and open more? And I thought we could combine Rosie's and Pizza Bob's and open up more locations throughout the island. And he was at a point in his life, we talked about this earlier, people, you come across different times in your life and different responsibilities, and what can you do? Do you take that leap of faith or not? You know, sometimes you have children, you have other responsibilities, your parents, people in your life, you just can't do it. And I was at a point, I wasn't married, didn't have children. And I said, okay, let's go. So that whole year, 97 to 98, I left in August 97. We opened Big City Diner in August of 98, exactly 1 year later. It was a rough year. It was a really rough year. I knew I didn't want to landscape anymore. This is when airline coupon tickets were big with Aloha and Hawaiian. I sold those to make some money. I did whatever I could just to pay my bills, pay my mortgage. Ate a lot of cup of noodles, and just made things go by. And it's been 12 years now since we opened Big City Diner, and we have 5 locations throughout the islands, and hopefully we'll have more eventually. But thanks for having me very much. It'll be fun tonight. Thanks.
Thank you, Lee. Okay, so I guess if we want, we could have you gentlemen have a seat. You guys want to stand, however you're comfortable. And we'll start the evening off with a question, and we'll go from there. So remember, the more interactive our guests are, the better it'll get flowing, and please write down any questions that come to mind. You also have some papers on your table that contain a single word on them. So as an example, it has this word, the future. So at any given time, I'll ask the audience to please raise your papers, and we'll have our guests choose a word and run with that topic that they see. So we'll start off with a question, and Bruce, how about we start off with you, and question for your starter is talk about mentorship.
Great. Well, mentorship, can you hear me? Is it on? Talk about mentorship. Mentorship is really what has made me a success. I've had 2 mentors in my career, in my whole life. One of them was the name of Mr. Bob Black. He was a very successful contractor here in the state of Hawaii, was one of the largest contractors in Hawaii. He was a very hard businessman, strong right-wing Republican, very active in the Republican Party. And then I had another man by the name of Walter Kupau, who was a strong Democrat, left-wing, very social, but they were both mentors. And the reason I bring this up is that in hindsight, when I look back, I would have really never recognized back then that they were really mentors. But they were people that I was able to talk with, people that when I had a problem, I could go to and they would give me an answer. They would guide me. And that guidance really has set my career. When times really got bad and I thought I could never make it here in Hawaii, not being born and raised here, I always turned to them and they gave me advice. But at the end of the day, mentorship is really about advice. You as an individual have really got to embrace that and catch on. And once you do, you'll find that there's mentors all over. I embrace mentorship, but more importantly, you have to share it. And so I've taken it to the point where today at the Chamber of Commerce, as chair of the Education Committee, I run a program for the senior projects as a mentor, where I get businesses to mentor high school students so that when they graduate, they have some sense of what the business world is about. So mentorship is near and dear to my heart.
Thank you, Bruce. Would you care to answer that as well, Nate?
Mentorship? Mentorship started for me probably while I was growing up. From my teachers, my coaches, my parents, aunties, uncles, grandparents. I can still hear my grandmother. You don't work, you don't eat. I go, what? What do you mean? Okay, what do you want me to do? You know, but I learned a lot from the people around me, my family, even my friends. And I think as far as that advice, what Bruce is touching on, is what works for you. And you take these words of wisdom and you see where you are in your career or in your life, and you apply it and you see what works for you. And right now, what I'm doing and giving back and working with the community, work with the Hogan entrepreneurs at Chaminade University, and with the advisory board there. And then there's some fascinating young students that are simply amazing. We talked about inventions, and if you've ever been up in Chaminade and with the Hogan's entrepreneurs, it's quite a remarkable program up there. But spending time with people and talking to them and listening to them. But that's mentorship. Thanks.
Thanks, Nate.
Thank you.
How about we start off with the word section for tonight? So, you know what I'm thinking? How about Brody's table back there? We'll do Brody's table, and if everybody on that table could hold up their words and hold it up high. It's a little hard to see with the lights.
Does that say loyalty?
You might.
And Bruce, why don't you pick one of the words that they're holding up, and with whatever's your favorite you see over there, and give us some thoughts on it.
Well, the words that are showing in front of me are sports and loyalty and leadership. Well, obviously,
okay.
I won't be talking about Tiger Woods. So, although it might be a good one, because and you know.